Occasionally in the world, something happens, and that something changes everything. For me, in the world, that was the discovery of something called a bacon sarnie. In Photoshop, we're talking about masks. No, not that kind of mask. What are masks? Masks are an important part of not just what we're talking about now, levels and adjustments. We use them all over the place in this program. A mask isolates. Think of it this way. A mask will take something like the levels adjustment layer and allow me to do something that if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to perform. And that would be applying the adjustment to a specific area of the image. Look at this barn. That barn is too dark. So I want to lighten the barn up, but I really don't want to lighten up the sky. I just want to lighten up that barn. To do that, I need to control where the adjustment goes. When you create an adjustment layer, masks are created automatically. For example, here's two layers. These aren't masks, but it kind of illustrates what's going on. What I've done, in a sense, is I've masked out the barn, which means if I control the sky, it's not going to change the barn. That's how a mask works. In this case, the sky is what we want to mask. We don't want to change the sky. We just want to change the barn. So now that we've got a general concept of what's going on here, let's apply it. I've got my adjustments panel open, working smart. Here's the button we want for levels. Now, if I just click levels, you will notice over here, forget these two layers for now, this one right here is the levels adjustment layer, and that's the mask. The mask controls what areas of the image receive the adjustment by painting with black, white, or a shade of gray. That's the cool thing about this. You can kind of paint it. Well, let's do this. Let me come over here and do something real bad. Like really something like that. Maybe I like the way the barn looks, but now the sky is just too light. If I come over here and pick up my paintbrush tool, which is right here, and I come down here, see this little bent arrow? I can click that to paint with white or black. Watch what happens when I begin painting the sky. Now, as you can see, the sky begins going back to what it was before. Because I'm painting with black, I'm saying, adjustment, don't change the sky. And you can see what's happening right down here. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. That's the area that does not receive the adjustment. So with that in mind, we can paint our way to success. But there's an easier way to do this. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. If you make a selection before you create the layer adjustment, the mask will be created based on the selection. For example, I want to lighten up that barn. So I do have a selection area over here in channels. Now we're going to talk about this in another lesson, but I actually made the selection by using what's called an alpha channel. And I'm going to activate that by holding down the control key. That's the Apple or command key on a Mac. And as you can see, it was if I just spent a minute or two making a selection of that barn. When you make a selection, you're saying to the computer before you apply the levels adjustment layer, you're saying that's the area I want to change. It's a very precise selection. If I now come up here and click that same button for levels, watch what happens when the layer is created. The mask is generated based on the selection. If you'd like to see the mask before you proceed, hold on the Alt key, Option key on a Mac, and click, and you can actually see it. So I'm clicking right on that adjustment mask, Alt-clicking it, I should say. If I'll click again, it'll come back. Now remember, we're working with levels with a mask now. If I come up here to RGB, come over here and move this slider to the left or to the right, I'm only controlling one thing. I am not controlling the sky. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to lighten that barn up a little bit, and I am happy with the sky. I absolutely love masks because, no, not that one. I'm going to talk to my production people. They give you control. What more can you ask for? Before you end this segment, if you've been following along with me, I want you to save this one exactly the way it is, because I want to take what we did in this segment and move into the next segment and jump just one more creative step ahead.